So I will be talking about the issue in Palestine, the recent conflict that started yesterday and still ongoing. One thing I've noticed is there are many different groups, mainly three groups. Some they are pro-Israeli and they don't hide it. They will tell you Israel has the right to defend themselves. Israel is the only democracy in that region, so we have to support them no matter what. They are not Muslims, and we don't want this barbaric people or something. And also there are some groups that are pro-Palestine. And those pro-Palestine, they are divided into subgroups. Some, they believe diplomacy is the only way out. The two-state solution where the Palestinian people will have their own sovereign, they can rule themselves in the Gaza and the West Bank. They are those that believes that with time, just protest, go out on the street with placard peacefully, don't make any problem, and someday things will set in the right place. Somehow Israel will give the Palestinian people the right that they deserve. And also under that pro-Palestine, there are also groups that believes that this has been going on for long. This has been for over 50 years. And sometimes when your dignity is being taken away from you, when you don't even have any rights, like people are just molesting you however they want, just occupying, committing out of atrocities and things against you, there has to be a point where you say no is no. And the group, under this group, there are people that also believes that there can be a positive outcome. And the only positive outcome that can come is if both the Palestinian people and the Israeli, they work together to be one nation where all of them have equal rights. They can do the same thing and still keeping the status quo regarding all these places of worship and holy places and things like that. But all have equal rights and live in the same nation. For me, I don't believe in this two-state solution. I believe in one-state solution where both of them, the Palestinians and the Israeli, lives as equal citizens. Until that day, nothing is going to happen. Because these two states, at the end of the day, which state are the Palestinians even going to have? Is it the Gaza Strip that you're going to relegate them to? Or the West Bank? Or how is that even going to work? So that's my the pro-Palestine, and my belief is that the only solution is a one-state solution where there can't be any Jewish exclusive state for Israel. What can be is both Jewish and the Palestinians, they live alongside as equal citizens. It's simple as A, B, C, nothing else. Because if you think about it, you are the one occupying them. It's not the other way around. It's not that this is already a Jewish state, then some people try to come in to occupy us. No. It's the Israeli that are going to the Palestine. Thereby, if the Palestine actually welcomes you and now you are there to stay, because at this stage, for people to be saying it has to be either fully Palestine, or fully they are both disillusioned. Like, it's not possible. You can't get rid, or you are, unless you want to commit act of genocide against one, like kill them off, and that's even senseless. The only solution now is for both of them to know that, okay, let's live together in peace, and the only way we can attain peace is to have equal opportunities and equal rights. You can't be saying, you can't go there as Palestine, you can't do this. No, everyone has to be free to do the same, vote, do everything. It's as simple as that. Practice your religion. It doesn't affect each other. Jewish and the Muslims have been living together before in the past without any problem until the British shows up. So that's the my own stand. But then the other group that I want to talk about is those that claims neutrality. They will say, the situation is so complicated. It's very complex. It's not something you can take side. It's better. No. The situation is not that complex. It's common sense. If I give you a scenario of a bully, a big bully with some friends, many friends, bullying a child that is maybe a fatherless child that only has maybe one friend in the whole classroom. They are bullying them. The bully collected his backpack and lunchbox, not giving him his food and everything. Then imagine now the child is trying to fight back. We try to collect his backpack, and then the bully kicked him around, pushed him on the floor, wiped the floor with him, and then all the friends are mocking him too, laughing, throwing dirt on him and saying, why don't you give up? Why you continue to fight? Why? Then every time he's trying to fight, they will say, see, you are the one that is causing the bully to bully you now. See. The friends are making jest of him. The bully's friends. Then imagine that child now says, okay, it seems like I'm losing this fight. My friend is supporting me. I have a friend, but unfortunately, it's not that strong too. We are, in terms of number, these people are like, we can't do anything. The bully is big. The friends he has are big. And I am with just one friend. Then he decided to go and tell the teacher. Now, let's say he went to the teacher. The only hope he has that, okay, at least as an adult, you are the teacher, you can deal with this with justice. You can get me my backpack back and my lunchbox. Then imagine the teacher says something like, I can only advise the bully not to bully you and to return, but I can't really enforce it because I can't suspend him, I can't punish him, and because I'm employed by the bully's father, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job. So now if someone asks you, which side are you going to say, you know what, it's very complicated, this bully, and this, what happened? You won't be asking all these questions. It's common sense to know, okay, there's a clear who is the oppressor and who are the oppressed. It's nothing like complicated about that. So now to act as if, okay, we are neutral because, this is complicated. For me, I believe if someone is being oppressed and you stayed neutral and you are trying to be like, you know what, diplomacy is the only way, and this, and I will be neutral, I can't really say, you are part of those who are oppressing the person indirectly. You don't have to be the one carrying out the oppression, but as long as you stand up on the side looking and not doing anything about it, even if it's just to speak, if the last you can do, if you are afraid for yourself too that, okay, I don't have enough power to, at least say something. So for me, it's just unfortunate because when the United States is occupying other people's land, going to Syria and this and waging war around the globe, all in the name of spreading democracy, you can understand. At least in their history, they've been like that from the beginning. They are slaves owner. They have been like that from the beginning. They killed the original Indians, the Aborigine, or what do they call them? The Native Indians. Sorry, they killed them to get their land. So it's something they've been known for. But then when you think about the Zionists, the so-called Zionists, the pretext they use for having their own state is because of the persecution they faced in Europe and in the West, like, okay, they are everywhere we go, we are being persecuted, so we want our own state. That's the pretext they use. These same people are now the one, when they have the power, they are now the one who is committing these atrocities and this persecuting these Palestinians. That's just something you can't even fathom. Like, how? Their case is like a case of a rapist that is saying, you know what, I'm the victim. I raped someone, but I'm the victim. You know why? Because my great-grandfather was raped. I heard in our history like it was raped, so I am the victim. I'm the victim of rape. No, you are not. You are the one perpetrating it. What happened then? Everyone condemned it. Holocaust is something bad. All this camp, people subjugating people. Like, everyone condemns that. And so we are condemning what you are doing now too. It's easy for US to come out and say, you know what, we defend Israel. You defend Israel. That's what you always do. You are always the oppressor. And that's what bullies do. They always go with other bullies. If you notice, when there's a bully, they have a group. And one thing about bullies is they are coward. They run. When they fight back, they run. And that's what we saw yesterday. With all these weapons, all these advanced you see them, how they work on the land as if, we are the owner of the land. When they have all this support with the military and everything. But yesterday, when what happened, you see how they run. And so some people might say, Israel is defending themselves. No. If you are oppressing people, there can be two reactions. Either the people allow you to continue to oppress them and submit totally, like, okay, just oppress me, I can't do anything, and give up. Or they fight back. It cannot be any other way. The only way that things cannot escalate is if you stop the oppression and make things right. Okay, we know we've done this for so long. It's because we don't know. Okay, let's find a way. For example, the apartheid in South Africa, for example, now they are living together, the whites and the blacks there. And no one is really bringing that back again. Like, apartheid, it happens. People moved on. All these 50 so years of occupation of the Palestinian land, if you want to make it right, give them equal right. Treat them as human beings. Like, no, don't see them as less than you. And that's what we see every time in the mainstream media. When things like this happen, the only concern is the value the Israeli lives over the lives of the Palestinians. In that sense, they are no longer equal. And these are the same people that are saying equality, the rights of people, even they are fighting for the rights of animals. That's how they are hypocrites. Like, they will say they are fighting for rights of animals, they are fighting for this, but then the right of the Palestinian peoples is nothing to worry about. See the reaction when Russia and Ukraine, the conflict started. Even though you can argue, okay, but Russia said they are protecting the Lugansk and the Donetsk people. And also they can say, because NATO is encroaching on their border, that's why they are doing what they are doing. They can still argue that. But what argument does the Israeli have? The only argument they can say is, we are living in among these enemies that want us to, they want to wipe us off the face. No, it's not true. No one wanted to wipe you off the face of the earth. The only reason why they were saying that is when they see you as an oppressor. If, for instance, you give the Palestinians their right, you live together without fear, because you are scared. That's the problem. You are scared. That's why you are saying, we want exclusive Jewish. If you want exclusive Jewish state, then don't go to other people's land. Ask the European. Maybe Germany can give you make Germany the exclusive Jewish state. You don't have to go to other people's land that don't have anything to do with what happened to you. Then you can say, but our forefathers in the Bible, they were the original owner. But then where were you? Imagine now, America as it is now, imagine even the Palestinians didn't come to take you, they were also original people there. Then imagine now in America, this native Indians now go back now. Now we want to take the whole of America back because we are the original. Does that even make any sense? At most, what you can do is to live alongside them and say, now we are coming back. We are going to live with you. But to say now we want exclusive Jewish state, what do you want to happen to the people in Palestine? To die off or to move somewhere else? And I can't. It's just like the US, its own case is so pathetic. Like, unfortunate for the Americans people, like, because we are saying the government is corrupt, is bad, is corrupt, is this, but I believe your government is the image of the people. It's reflecting the image of the people, because if the American people too stands up for what is right and they are truly what they claim to be, like, we are fighting for human beings, we're right, and we are then I think things should have changed. It is only when these people now decided that, okay, oppression is like death. Like, it's like you have died. If people are oppressing you, then out molesting you and everything, then what's the purpose? Do you think when they are doing what they were doing yesterday, do you think they know that they will survive it or something, or that they won't get any retaliation from the Israeli side? Do you think they don't know many of them will die in the process? They know. But that's the price they are willing to pay to get their freedom. And before a man reaches that stage where you feel like you have nothing left else to lose, that means you've gotten to the stage where nothing else matters but your freedom. And if the so-called West are so good in helping people to get their freedom, then this is the time when they should have done the right thing, rather than always repeating the same old track. Israel has the right to defend itself. You never talk about the right of the Palestinians. When they were going into their places, pushing old women, we saw all the videos. It's not something new. It's something we've been seeing over and over again. Killing young children. That has nothing to do with the fighting. And now they will say, Hamas is a terrorist group, Hezbollah is this, Hezbollah is that. They play with words. They say things like, okay, this one is terrorist, because they know by default, people will automatically know that if they call someone terrorist, then whatever that person's done must be bad. Even without reading the news, if they say terrorists commit something, that's terrorist, is bad. They give different names to different people. When they want to give you a bad name, they give you a name. Like when they want to kill a dog, for instance, they used to say, when you want to kill a dog, give it a bad name. The reason why they say that is because when you give someone a bad name, when you tarnish their image, whatever you do with them afterwards, no one will care, because people will say, that person is bad anyway. Like, who cares? That's what they've done in the past with all this Gaddafi. It's a tyranny. He's killing his people. He's one of the most progressive country in Africa that is, in terms of wealth, they are better off most of the African countries. But then it's the tyranny. He's the one who is killing his own people. So when they killed him, then now it's okay. Now see the state of Libya, for example. So that's the point I'm trying to make. When they want to give, for example, now, if they don't say, you've raped, if maybe someone start to talk against the narrative, the mainstream narrative, now, like, okay, this is not, if they don't tell you, you've raped the woman before or something, then they will call you conspiracy theorist. If they don't say you are conspiracy theorist, they will give you different names. Anti this or move this what? When are people going to wake up? And when you read comments too, you see some people commenting, Israel, they don't even know what is going on. But they just want to support Israel. You know why? because they are not Muslim. This Muslim are barbaric. The Palestinians are Muslim. What does religion have to do with what is going on? Oppression is oppression. If a Muslim is committing oppression, we should speak against it. If it's a Christian, if it's an atheist, anyone, it doesn't matter. And whichever race you are, if you are the oppressor, we should talk about it. It's not trying to make it look like you can commit oppression and you have free card because you are this, and if people talk, they will say you are anti-Semite. No, this is not Jewish hating. No one is hating the Jews. What we are saying is give the freedom to Palestine. Let the people live and let live. The same thing you were experiencing yesterday is what these people have been experiencing day in, day out. So to make it look like, now is the time. No, that's what you do. You bomb them every time you go there, you desecrate their place, you do everything, you bomb them, you bulldoze their house, you chase them out into some camp, you block them, they don't even have access to anything. Now they are talking about stopping the electricity, the access to electricity or something there. Imagine. And all you can see in the news is the Western media and their allies, the Western allies saying Israel has the right to defend themselves. Condolences to the Israeli victims. What about the Palestinians? Don't they have civilians on their side too? Don't they have innocent civilians on their side too? If Hamas tomorrow should go to Syria to say they want to fight Syria Assad regime, I'm sure United States will call them freedom fighter. They won't call them terrorists again. If tomorrow Hamas or Hezbollah should go to Ukraine to say they want to fight against Russia, I'm sure these same Western countries that are calling them terrorists will start to call them freedom fighter. That's how they change words. I don't know even if they are... Now I'm starting to feel maybe they are not even doing it deliberately. Maybe they are really confused. Because before I'm thinking, okay, this is deliberate. They want to give name. They change words as they like to play on people's mind and things like that. But now that they don't even know who they are. They don't know if they are this or that. They don't know what they are. Then maybe they are really confused. Anyway, now I will just be looking at... I will just react to one article that I found interesting that we were talking about how the world is reacting, what different things. I already know what they will probably say, but let's just look at it and just see what. But before I start reacting to the article, I just want to make something clear. So in that scenario where I gave earlier on, the reason why I used the word fatherless child is because the Palestinians, they are Arabs, and unfortunately they have been neglected by the other Arab nation. You can see the other Arab nation trying to cozy up with the Zionist regime while neglecting the situation of the Palestinian people. And also, when I said a friend, he has his friend, just imagine the only nations that are really standing against the oppression, the Israeli oppression against the Palestinian, is the Iran, Syria, and this Lebanon, the South Lebanon, this Hezbollah group. Those are the only people that are really standing firm. And this group, they are already sanctioned, over-sanctioned, and even they are struggling on their own because of these sanctions and everything. So for them to still be firm, that shows you that they have this real commitment. They are true to what they say. Unlike some nations where, they only talk, but there's no action. All they do is talk. And when they talk, you can see it's not even sincere. You can just want to say it just to save their face. They say something, the next day they do something else. They want to normalize ties. No one is saying they shouldn't normalize ties with Israel, but only until the Palestinian people are free. There shouldn't be any ties with people that are oppressing other people, no matter what. So that's my point. And let's just imagine that the bully is Israel itself. The father that is the employer of the teacher is US, because they are the one that controls the United Nations, and the teacher is the United Nations. The United Nations that is not united on anything. Because even though these people are saying they are spreading democracy, but every vote in the United Nations doesn't count anything as long as there's one veto vote from one of these big nations. So what's the democracy there? Isn't it supposed to be the majority rules before? So they are not practicing what they preach. And this United Nations vote is not united on anything. They only unite when they want to benefit a few. So if you imagine that, and imagine that the backpack and the lunchbox is the land and the dignity of the Palestinian people, then you understand that this is not so complicated. It's something straightforward to understand. Fighting back is as a result of what they were going through. It's not like they want to be. They are not inherently like violent people. They just want to be fighting. No. If there's nothing to bring this, if everything is going as it should, they are living in harmony with each other, no problem, no one is subjugating any other person, then there won't be any fight in the first place. So that's what I'm saying. I will just try and share this. Just go through this article real quick because I've already spent a lot of time. But it's worth it. Even if I spend 2-3 hours on this topic, it's worth it. So this article here is from Reuters. It says, "World reacts to Hamas attack on Israel." First thing I will say is, when you are seeing articles or news from the mainstream media or from always don't let them play on your emotions. That's the problem. They play too much on people's emotion. Unfortunately, many people, when they see something on the paper or in the news, they always immediately, without any question, they just accept it as it is. Like, that must be true because it's coming from the news. No. Try and analyze. Try to sit back, think deeply, critically, not just taking things at it like, they bring it to me so I accept it. Many information nowadays that we are getting is just to play on your mind. It's propaganda. There's biases already in it. You have to filter out those biases to be able to get to the core, to get the truth. Now, when they use this word react to Hamas attack on Israel, because they've designated Hamas as a terrorist group, anyone that sees this Hamas automatically attack, they will terrorist attack. You just substitute that Hamas with terrorist. That's what reacts to terrorist attack on Israel. That's what they are trying to say. Subconsciously, that's what you will get in your brain immediately when you read this. But once you understand that, okay, Hamas is not really, you substitute this Hamas for Palestinian people and subjugated people, then substitute Israel for oppressor, then you will see something slightly different. Then that's when you understand, okay, what reacts to how people that are being oppressed attack the oppressor. Then you won't even feel. We all watched Braveheart. We all watched all these movies where we always support the people that are being oppressed. Like, no matter what they do, they are right. No one ever watched Braveheart and say, this guy, this Gibson, or what's his name, what he did in that is violent, is bad. No. We all felt bad for him when they killed him in the head. So that's what I'm trying to get to. Now, the United States is the first one on this. They said this is according to the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. That doesn't blink. They said there is never any justification for terrorism. See again, they use the keyword terrorism. Have you asked yourself, why is it that ever since 9/11, this word terrorism never goes out of fashion? Like, it's always coming back. Like, of course, there's no justification for terrorism, regardless of who is perpetrating it. So, the terrorist state, the Zionist state that is also perpetrating terror on the people of Palestine, should also be considered terrorists, and what they are doing is terrorism. The act of terrorism is what the Zionist state is also doing in Palestine. So there shouldn't be any justification for that as well. Then he said, we stand in solidarity with the government and people of Israel. See, they only stand in solidarity with the government and people of Israel. This is the same nation, the US, that is saying that they want to make this two-state solution to work. They are trying to be the one to mediate. They mediate. How can you mediate when you are even on the other side? How does you see how this is so ridiculous? And then they said, and extend our condolences for the Israeli lives lost in these attacks. So they are only concerned with the Israeli lives that are lost. Nothing regarding the innocent civilians on the Palestinian sites that died yesterday and even before. Of course, if there's innocent civilians on both sides, as humanity with empathy, you should be able to say, we feel sorry for the loss of life. On both sides, you can't just choose one side, that are Israeli lives. And mind you, point of correction, majority, apart from those where the rockets were flying to, majority of these people, because in the news you see these short clips that they were playing, that they will show this, they were taking this woman out of the back of a truck, they were making it look like a civilian. Majority of the people they took as hostage yesterday were actually from the bases, because I saw a video that shows full when they took them really weird, like it was from the bases, the military bases, all these camps that they took some of them from. So one, majority of people that suffered from yesterday are not all civilians. Actually, they were more like military personnel. Maybe they are just in what's it called, civilian motives or dresses when they were captured. And unfortunately, many people that were killed are settlers. And I always say something, for me, anyone who is a settler, you are not innocent. You are not innocent. Either you leave the land or you face other consequences. You are not innocent. The last thing you can say for a settler is they are innocent, because what is a settler? They use that word settler to, when they want to make something sound okay, something bad to sound okay, they use some words like settler. What is settler? You come to someone's land that is not yours, you drive them out of the land and take their properties, you take their houses, you take their building. Actually, this is the video I'm talking, the one that they were just showing on the side. That lady was taken from the military camp. So like I'm saying, the settlers, they use that word settlers when they should have you can substitute that for thieves, people that come to steal land. What they were doing is theft. They come, they steal land, they kick the people out, they take their land. Now, if I come back fighting for my land, then would you be considered innocent in that situation, in that scenario? No, you won't. So, as they have sent their condolences to the Israeli lives that were lost, I'm also sending my condolences to the Palestinian lives and the innocent civilian lives in the Israeli that were lost. Everyone has right to their words. Like no one, like they said, there's freedom of speech, isn't it? So they have the right to send condolences to whoever they want. So we too have right to send condolences to who we feel deserves it. And this U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said, over the coming days, the Department of Defense will work to ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself and protect civilians from indiscriminate violence and terrorism. That's what we've been doing from day one. That's not news. You've been defending them. You've been providing them money you've been providing them weapons. You've been enabling their manufacturing of weapons, lethal weapons to use against the Palestinians, all in the name of they are living amongst enemy. That's what we've been doing. Indiscriminate violence and terrorism. Well, that's up for debate. United Nations, what do they have to say? United Nations Middle East Peace Envoy, I don't even know how to pronounce this, Torwensland or something, said, "This is a dangerous precipice and I appeal to all to pull back from the brink." What does that even mean? I understand they were saying like, okay, diplomacy, don't fight, it's better not to escalate, but to write it like this, trying to be, they were trying to be like diplomatic as much as possible. So nothing to say about that. Like, really, it's dry. This attack is having, this UN High Commissioner for Human Rights said, this attack is having a horrific impact on Israeli civilians. What about these Palestinian civilians? Imagine this is coming from the United Nations. What about the Palestinian civilians? Have you asked them what led to that attack yesterday? Why are they? Did they just? These people just think that we are so foolish that we just presume that, okay, these people just woke up one day and what do I want to do this morning? I want to attack Israel. No. Something led to what happened. So why are we trying to forget the root cause of this problem and just act as if yesterday was it's just something out of nowhere, like it's something we didn't even. No, it's been going on for long. But now it's only the Israeli civilians. Civilians must never be the target of attack. That's what the Israelis been doing all the time. All the time. Even yesterday, they were still bombing high-rise building that is civilian infrastructures. So what about that? And that's one thing people don't understand. This is a coward. If you really want to show that you are strong, go into Gaza to fish out the Hamas. Don't say, don't be a coward and be flying your plane ahead just to drop bomb, just to kill as much as possible without, at least anyway, let's just move on. And the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian people have the right to defend themselves against the terror of settlers and occupation troops. Well, it's normal. That's what he will say, because of course we want to side with the Palestinian. But even without him saying it, what I can just say I like how he pointed out is the terror of settlers. But please change this word settlers to thieves and occupation troops. So it shows clearly what the Palestinians, the beef they have is with the terror, the settlers and the occupation troops. Unfortunately, any civilians that are caught up in this, unfortunately, it's what it is. And that is what, at least everyone will understand, that is what the people in Gaza and West Bank are going through too. When Israel is retaliating and fighting against Hamas now in Gaza, of course, innocent civilians too will die there. It's something we understand that will happen. Of course, we don't want it, but it's something that will happen. So that's why they shouldn't make it look like, it's only the civilian in Israel that is suffering. No. And Iran says an advisor to Iran supreme leader. And like I said, I don't know if I said this earlier, but Iran is the only nation. And imagine the irony, like they are not even Arab. They are the only nation that is really standing firm behind and in action, not only in talking. Apart from Hezbollah, of course. We will stand by Palestinian fighters until the liberation of Palestine and Jerusalem. It's good, and that's what we want. We want the liberation of the Palestinians. We want them to be free, to have dignity as human beings, and to be able to live freely, just like the Israelis are living freely. One thing I won't support is this idea that Israel should be wiped off the face of the earth or something like that. That's giving that. When you say things like that, you are giving them the opportunity to use that as a pretext for what they are doing, to justify what they are doing. Zionism Is it a tumor like ISIS is a tumor that has to be eradicated? Of course, 100%. But Israel, if we are talking about the Jewish people themselves, they have the right to live just as the Palestinians have the right to live. But when it comes to, and they have the right to have a state, if they want to have a state that will include Palestinians as civilians of equal right. That's what I'm for. So this one, like death to Israel, I don't support that. But if it's death to Zionism, I support that fully. Of course, Zionism is ISIS. It's the branch, the way they make ISIS Islamic. Zionism is the Jewish ISIS. And okay, the next one is China. China too, we want to be one thing I noticed with China and Russia, they are treading carefully too, because they have their own issues with all this Taiwan and Ukraine, and this. So I can understand they want to be, like, let's not make enemy or more friend, let's not make more enemy, so let's just. Okay, so what did they say? To remain calm, exercise restraint, and immediately end the hostility to protect civilian, avoid further destruction of the situation. At least you can see they are not making any specific. Civilian for them is civilian. It doesn't matter if it's from the Israeli or the Palestinian. But have you noticed a trend? When you see the one from the Western, it's always they put Israeli to show where their allegiance is. They let you know we are not your friend. And these are the same people that will run to you to want to get your allegiance against Russia. Like, now you have to tell us where you are. You have to, against Russia, you have to tell us. So that shows you the hypocrisy. German Chancellor, I can say 100% without even reading this, what they will say. Something condemned, and Israel is the victim. So terrifying news reaches us today from Israel. It's not only from Israel. Israel too was since yesterday they have been retaliating. It's not even they've started retaliating yesterday immediately. So it's not only from Israel. We are deeply shocked by the rockets fire from Gaza and the escalating violence. Germany condemns this attack by Hamas and stand by Israel. You see, I told you, they make it clear. French, what does even French have to say? Macron, he has nothing to say. It's the same thing. I express my full solidarity with the victims and their families and those close to them. At least it's good he didn't specify which victim, if it's the Israeli one or Saudi Arabia. This one, they talk, but what? Immediate cessation of violence. How? They should stop it today and start again tomorrow. Stop it tomorrow and start again after. Is that what you are saying? Is this not what has been going on for how many years now? Over 50 years? That they will say, we are going to, how do they call it? Mourn the grass or something. They want to mourn the grass. They go in there at time from time to just go and fish out some Hamas and kill some people. And is that what you want? Or people knifing people on the street and then they kill them, and then now things flare up, they bomb a few more buildings and then it died down, and then the next 2 months it starts again. Is that what you want? If you want cessation to the violence, it has to be a permanent solution, not a solution that it will be just now stop, then after 2 years then another 1,000 people has to die before you start to say your cessation of violence again. Egypt, what do they have to say? Egypt doesn't have anything to say because they are part of the problem. If they are the one blocking from their own border, they are blocking the Gaza. They have good relations with Israel. Even though there's oppression and everything, they are part of the problem. So let me see what they have to say. Egypt warned of great consequences and called for exercising maximum restraint and avoiding exposing civilians to further danger. Okay, another Israeli lobby. Canada strongly condemns the current terrorist attack against, you see, the war terrorist attack. They can't even, it's so glaring what they use. They use the same words over and over again. The same thing over and over again. This act of violence are completely unacceptable. We stand with Israel and fully support the right to defend itself. Yeah. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by this. Civilian life must be protected. British, the cause of the problem. The main people that started the problem. The UK and Germany with Them and Germany, they work everything together with Poland. And maybe a little bit of Ukraine. The UK unequivocally condemns the horrific attack by Hamas on Israeli civilians. The UK will always support Israel's right to defend itself. Of course, it's always Israel. European, I don't even need to read this because they will only parrot what the United States say, so I'll skip that, sorry. Turkish, you only talk. Erdogan only talks, no action. Like, I don't know. Qatar also, like, Russia will be trying to be like more like neutral. So let's see what Zelensky. I'm interested in seeing what Zelensky has to say. Zelensky condemned what he called the terror attack on Israel. You know, coming from Zelensky and right to defend itself cannot be doubted. Coming from Zelensky, it's funny that you are in a position where you are claiming to be the victim of some other bigger country coming into your invading you. Then you saying this shows that you are even like, it's better for him not to even say anything, honestly. It would have been better for him not to even say anything. At least we won't know what is in his mind. Hezbollah, maybe if you go and help Ukraine against Russia, they won't call you terrorist again. And maybe if you help the ISIS fighting against Assad, maybe they won't call you terrorist again. I'm just giving you a clue to what to do to get your name off the terrorist list. These are the only people that are keeping, because without, I'm sure they want to remove even that Gaza and the West Bank is something that if the Zionists will have their way, they want to get rid of everything altogether. So the only people stopping them are this Hezbollah, Iran, and others that are still standing firm like Syria. Polish, I don't even want to talk about it. Czech, because of this one, the reason I'm just keeping it is they will say the same thing. Japan is also going to parrot what United States has to say. And African Union, let's see. I'm even curious as to what they were going to say. Musa Faki Mahamat, chairperson of Commission of the African Union, said denial of the fundamental right of the Palestinian people. Okay. Making sense. Honestly, making sense. I didn't even expect this from the African Union. Particularly that of an independent and sovereign state is the main cause of permanent Israeli. Like, I can't even say more than I'm happy to see this, because when I wanted to read it, I was thinking, they will say the same thing, but I was surprised that they actually said the truth. It's good to say negotiating table, but what are they negotiating? How long? What else are they negotiating? It's simple. Let them be equal. Have one state, even these two states. No, have one state, and both of you stay in the same. Call yourself one nation, Israeli, Palestinian country, or call yourself something. Find a way to know which name you are going to give yourself. And even if you want to retain that in the Israeli name, and Palestinian will just be calling themselves Palestinian as their own tribal name or something. I don't know. Okay, now Kuwait expressed its grave concern over development between Israel. Anyway, all this, it's nothing new. Like, everyone is just saying almost the same thing. So because the video is already too long, I'm just going to leave it at this. And hopefully, I know they've been bombing high-rise buildings and things like that, and many people the casualty is going to go up. It's never going to go down. So let's not put ourselves in some state of denial about the casualties. It's going to further go up. But all we can hope for is that they don't do this in vain. That's the only thing I can say. I'm not even talking about this has to lead to something. I would only be disappointed if this goes back to the usual, go back to normal, and now we start going back to our living under oppression again. No, this has to be the final straw where the oppression has to be stopped. And as that, I will leave it at to say, Palestinians, continue with your struggle, and God be with you. And if you are one of those that are enabling the oppressor, just know that your days are numbered. That's it.